Hey YouTube, Common Collector here, and today I am bringing you guys an update or just a new iteration of my Adamancipator deck. So I have already brought you guys, way back in the day when this first came out, I brought you guys a pure variant of the deck. I've brought you Magnet Warriors as well as Fossils, and now I am bringing you guys the Gogogo and Gogogo version of the deck. I guess whatever you want to call it, Gogogo, Gogogo, Dododo, Zubaba. These cards are just crazy, but they actually are really nice for just helping to turbo out some level 4s, some rank 4s out onto the field for you to do your rank 4 plays as well as synchros, and the Adamancipators just help sort of facilitate everything, make everything useful. So I'm not going to go on too much about that, but if you guys have not subscribed already, go ahead and please hit that subscribe button for more amazing deck profiles like this, as well as go ahead and check out the links in the description. I am hosting a tournament over on my Facebook page, so there will be a link to the Facebook there if you guys are interested in joining a tournament over this holiday season. That will be hopefully starting soon once we get enough people interested. So information is all up over there on the Facebook page. But anyways, let's get going on with this Adamancipator Gogogo deck profile. So we're starting off obviously with the 3 researcher, 3 of everything. So we got the 3 researcher, 3 seeker, and of course 3 analyzer. Some people drop analyzer to 2, but I still really like it at 3 in here. I generally try to, you can flip-flop going first or second with this deck. Going second analyzer is really nice, but overall this deck can still go really well going first. And then there's so many different ways to even get out analyzer on your opening turn that it doesn't matter. It's summoning condition. So for those of you guys who don't know, what all these guys do is that they excavate the top 5 cards of your deck, and then you special summon a non-tuner rock monster that is level 4 or lower from what you reveal. So, and then they all have their own summoning requirements. So they can all be normal summoned, but with Researcher, you special summon as long as you have a rock on the field. With Seeker, you can special summon if you have another Adamancipator on the field. And then with Analyzer, if your opponent controls monsters and you control none, then you can, if your opponent controls a monster, then you can special summon this to the field as long as you control nothing. So overall, they're all pretty good. I like still running 3 of each. They're the heart and soul of the deck. Then we're going on just to a blue and a white. Blue is mostly for draw power, and then Leonite is just because I'm playing this as as pure of an Adamancipator variant as I can, so I included all 3 of the synchros in the extra deck. So then we're going to go on into 2 copies of the Dododo Wharf Gogogo Glove for the start of our Gogogo engine. So what this card does is that it can special summon either a Zubaba or a Gogogo monster from your hand once per turn. And then also, if this card is sitting in the graveyard, this is the effect that you're mostly going to be using off of it, is that if you have a Gogogo or Dododo monster on the field, then you can special summon this from the graveyard, but then this card gets banished when it leaves the field. The one loophole with this is that if you use this card to summon a rank 4, then this becomes material, and then it will not get banished when it leaves the field, so then you can just keep on recycling that. So it's really, really nice just to set up in the graveyard, and we have a lot of graveyard setup for this deck. And then sort of its pair is going to be 2 copies of the Gogogo Gigas. You could bump the Gogogo Glove up to 3, but I still like it at 2. You can find it easily enough in this deck. So with the Gigas, it basically does the same thing as Gogogo Glove, but it can special summon itself to the field when you special summon a Gogogo monster to the field, and then along with that, then you can't conduct your battle phase for the rest of the turn. So this is why I like going first with this deck, because if you are going first and then you special summon the Gigas, then it doesn't matter that you have to skip your battle phase. It just really doesn't matter. Then just to finish it off, we're playing the Gogogo Giant and the Utopic Onomatopoeia. So you can play the Zuba Bancho Gagaga Coat. I just didn't really care for it in the deck. Basically with the Gagaga Coat, you have to open it in your drawing hand or else search for it. He's not a rock, so he really isn't that helpful for the deck. And I mean, he is an earth, but we don't have Block Dragon in the game anymore. So overall, I think that the Yeah, the Gogogo coat can go away. The only thing is that he is nice to special summon off of your Gogogo gloves first effect, but the Onomatopoeia counts as either a Gagaga, Gogogo, Dododo, or Zubaba card, so it really doesn't matter. As long as this card is still in your deck and you can search for it, you have a spell card in the deck that will search for both of these, and then you can just summon the glove, special summon the Onomatopoeia from the hand, do a rank 4 play. And you generally don't want to use the Onomatopoeia's effect because when you use his effect to special summon so you can use his effect to summon one of each of the Dododo Gogogos from the hand. So generally you're going to like summon these two from your hand. But then you can only XZ summon for the rest of the turn, and we're not playing that many XZs. So if you guys do want to continue with this variant of the deck and then play the Zubaba Bancho Gagaga Coat in the deck, and then increase the number of XZs in the extra deck, you can totally go for it. I think that that would be really viable, especially once Crystron Halqifibrax gets banned, but overall, I think that this is still sort of like the right numbers for how to run the deck. You could, again, increase this card to 3 if you really want to, but overall, it's really comfortable just with those, and it seems like a really small engine, but the engine does really help, and I'll show you guys in a little bit of a combo at the end of this. So then we're going on into the standard 3 copies of Doki Doki. So with this card, you discard a rock from the hand, and then special summon a monster with the same level the same level and attribute, and it obviously has to be a rock from the deck. So basically with Doki Doki, this is what really helps to turbo out your analyzer, because we have so many level 4 rocks in the deck, and even if you have an analyzer, and then you just use Doki Doki's effect, discard the analyzer from your hand, and then summon another copy. So like that's just really, really nice. Then we're going on into 3 copies of Kowakimeru Guardian just to negate monster effects. 2 copies of Kowakimeru Supplier. This card is really great. We're playing Plague Spreader Zombie in the extra deck because this is a synchro heavy deck with the Adamancipators. So with the Kowakimeru Supplier, when this card is summoned, then you can add a Kowakimeru Guardian to your hand, which then just having that added card in your hand, you can then just put it back to the top of the deck with Plague Spreader Zombie, and then you can use your Adamancipator ladies to reveal the top card of your deck. Put the Kowakimeru, you're going to reveal a Kowakimeru Guardian, and then you can just go ahead and summon that. Then that is on your field and not in your hand because it's not really that useful in your hand. Then we're just going on into 1 copy of Kowakimeru Overload. If you did want to run these, the Gagaga Coat, you could take this out and swap that in. I just like the 1 Overload just to try to stop your opponent's special summons. Then we're going on into just 1 copy of Gigantes. I knocked this down since Block Dragon got hit on the ban list. He's just not that great anymore. But then we're going on into 3 copies of Nibiru. Obviously, this is a rock deck, so we have to play this. This card is really great, not even just for its 1 effect, but like, you can summon this out multiple ways. I believe that you can summon this with Doki Doki. Yeah, because it doesn't have to be a monster of a certain level. So yeah, if you have a Nibiru that's just like a brick in your hand, like your opponent already went full combo on their first turn, and these are the only 2 cards in your hand, then you just summon Doki Doki, discard the Nibiru, and summon another copy of Nibiru from the deck, and then, then you have a 3000 beater on the board. So like, that's just like a little life hack for you guys. Then finally, for our last monster, is 1 copy of the Plague Spreader Zombie. I really like having him in here. He was like a great top to the deck ever since we lost the O-Lion. But yeah, Plague Spreader Zombie is, he's really good. Like, you can't go into the Union Carrier combos anymore, but so that's like why I took out the Buster Lock, all that stuff out of here, and I just put in the Plague Spreader Zombie, and then he actually does work really great with the synergy of the deck, trying to put certain things to the top of your deck so that you can excavate them. Then we're going on into 3 copies of Adamancipator Signs, Monster Reborn for the deck, and it also can put a certain card to the top of your deck, so really nice just to have a little bit more synergy there with your excavating, with your Plague Spreader Zombie and all that stuff. Then we're going on into 3 copies of Onomatopoeia. So with this card, you can search any two copies of your Gogogo, Gagaga, Dododo, and Zubaba cards. So as long as it's like one from each category. So that's kind of where I was going with. You can add your I gotta find them now. You can add your Gogogo glove as well as your Adamancipator, and then, or else you can just get your Gigas, whatever really you need in your hand. But generally, these are the two that I go for, just because you can summon this, use that to summon this, and then you do a little bit of overlaying or link whatever, and then you can then you'll have the Gogogo glove set up in your graveyard for your later plays. Then we just have two copies of the Automata Pickup. So this is a continuous spell card, but when it is first activated, then you can add the Adamancipator to hand. So this is basically 5 copies of Adamancipator. I should also mention that when you activate the para, you have to do a discard, but it is kind of nice for a little bit of graveyard setup for the deck. Then just for more graveyard setup, we have our Miracle Rupture, which is just a Foolish Burial for level 4 or lower rocks, and then just a Foolish Burial in general, just to, again, set up our graveyard. The Gogogo Glove and the Gigas just work so great in the graveyard, as well as like your trying to get your Adamancipator gems and whatnot in the graveyard. It's just really nice. Then finally, a Monster Reborn. So we're basically running 4 copies of Monster Reborn with the Adamancipator signs. So it is just really great, really consistent deck. And now let's get on into the extra deck. So for the extra, I'm not going to spend too much time here, but you guys should already know what all of these guys do. These are your beautiful Adamancipator Crystal Boys. So, I mean, Dragite, I just still love this card so darn much. Then we're going on for like Halqifibrax engine. We have the Martial Metal Marcher and Herald of the Arclight. Then for our final synchro, we have a Borreload Savage Dragon. Then again, like I said, our XZ numbers are a little bit small in here, but I'm running Gallic Granite and Abyss Dweller. This is generally all you ever need to go into, especially just the Gallic Granite. So if you're in your opening hand, if you aren't seeing any Adamancipators, then you can just hopefully go into your Gogogo engine and then get out your Granite, and then you can detach, add your Adamancipator Researcher. Researcher can special summon itself since you have a rock on the field, and then you can try to get some power plays going from there. So that's generally why Granite is so good in here. But just for other XZ examples, you could either add like the whole Utopia double engine in here. It really doesn't take up that much space. I just couldn't find like 2 spots in the extra deck, but I would say you could even maybe take out the Abyss Dweller and like Nightmare Cerberus in the extra deck to try to fit this, and then Double or Nothing, fit it in wherever you want to. Otherwise, like Baguska is just in general like another good card. The only thing is that he can sometimes hurt like your Herald of the Arclight, all those kinds of cards. So like Baguska, not really the best for this deck. Then for our links, we're going into Halqifibrax and Link Cross, obviously. 1 copy of IP Masquerena, 1 Nightmare Cerberus, and Unicorn. So these are, Unicorn is your best one to summon off of Masquerena, not really Cerberus. So sometimes what I'll do is Cerberus I'll use to link off my Link Cross, and below that with Link Cross I'll summon my Masquerena below it, and then I'll link something else away to get Cerberus, and then I'll send these 2 for a Link 4 on my opponent's turn with the Masquerena. So then for our Link 4s, we just have Appaloosa and Mech Knight Crusader Avramax. I really like going into Avramax in this deck, basically because if you have Herald of the Arclight on the field, and even like Kawaki Mirror Guardian, or just anything else that you're kind of trying to protect, any of like your floodgates or just like your insurance policies, if your opponent is about to try to like combo and he thinks you're going to go on Appaloosa, then you just go into Avramax instead. If they're trying to go for like an OTK or something like that, or going into like Boral Sword Dragon and they're just going to beat over your stuff, then you go into Avramax, and then they can't beat you because Avramax gets protection from IP Masquerena, and he's like virtually indestructible. He's like just as hard to get rid of as a Red Eyes Dark Dragoon at that point. All right, guys, so I got the deck pretty well shuffled up. We are just going to go through this really quickly, and I'll just do a quick combo for you guys just to sort of see how hopefully we'll get a good hand with like the Gogogo engine in here, and you guys will be able to see just in general like how the Halka-Fibrax combos and all that stuff sort of meshes with the deck. Again, if you guys are interested in my tournament, or just if you want to check out my Facebook page, where I do like, well, it's pretty new, but hopefully I'll eventually get to doing like stuff like updates for the channel and all that sort of stuff. But yeah, if you guys are interested in the tournament, it is going to be a win-a-box tournament held remote duel style or by dueling book, whatever you prefer. I can change the bracket so that you're on the side with like dueling book or remote duel if you guys have a tripod to duel on. But anyways, let's go ahead and check out our opening hand here. Wow, this is pretty darn good. So we have an analyzer, Doki Doki, and a researcher. So yeah, this is generally like what I already said before is that with the Doki Doki, you can go ahead and discard for just summoning another analyzer from the deck. So I think that that's what we're gonna do, just because trying to get like the getting as many of like the tuners out of the deck and onto the field, and just getting as many of the tuners effects off is really important. And what did I tell you guys? Like I told you right away at the beginning of the video with Doki Doki that this happens a lot. So yeah, like I'm not just like talking out of my butt when I say this sort of things. Like when I'm telling you like specific examples like Doki Doki, these are from experience. So so we will reveal our top 5, and oh no, okay, so at least we got a Leonite there. Leonite, I think that could still sort of help. So when this card is special summoned by the effect of an Adamancipator, target a card in your hand or graveyard and put it on the top of your deck. It has to be an Adamancipator card. We don't really want to do that. I think that we would rather keep Analyzer in the grave. So I think that we'll just leave that there. The only nice thing is like if you could put like your Analyzer, or sorry, your Adamancipator, sorry, the whatever is the spell that puts your stuff, your spell Monster Reborn. But anyways, we will take, I guess, really just what we could do right away is we'll take these two, and we can either go into the Halka-Fibrax combo. Ooh, I guess my extra deck is a little flamboozled here. So we can go into either the Halka-Fibrax engine or the Raptite. I think we're going to just go with the Halka-Fibrax. I like doing the Halk. I'm going to get rid of this if we're doing the Halk route. So with the Halk, then you can get the Plague Spreader zombie out of the deck as early as possible, which is kind of important just to make sure that you're not going to be, going into that with like any of your Adamancipator stuff. So, just to make sure that you're not going to be excavating that off the top of your deck is kind of important. Then we'll just take the Halka-Fibrax, go right away into Link Cross. I'll get just like 2 random tokens right here. So we'll take the Plague Spreader and a token, and we will turn into a Martial Metal Marcher. And then the Marcher will summon a monster from the graveyard, and so we can either get an Analyzer or a Plague Spreader zombie. And just because it's a different level and we have our Researcher level 2 in hand, I think we'll get the Analyzer. Then then we'll take these two here and obviously go into our Herald of the Arclight. So now we have protection from, like if our opponent was waiting to Nibiru us, but I don't know why you would wait this long. Obviously, like we could have also summoned Quackimero Guardian just to be safe earlier instead of Doki Doki, and then just done Researcher combos instead. But, still, I kind of like to... just because I wanted to show you guys how far this can extend. We will then take these 2 cards right here, and we will summon out our Adamancipator. So here we can either go Leonite or Raptite. And again, just to sort of show you guys how the deck goes, I'm going to summon actually the Leonite, and so we'll use Leonite's effect. So we reveal, and hopefully we can reveal the spell. No, but we can add any Adamancipator card into our hands. So actually getting that Seeker is really, really nice, because now we'll be able to get off all 3 of the Adamancipator monsters. So we will special summon the Seeker in defense and use its effect. And so here we have their Adamancipator Signs. That's the card I was thinking of. Okay, nice. And we did get the Gogogo Gigas. I was really hoping that I could at least show you guys a part of the Gogogo engine. So unfortunately, I didn't get like, I didn't open up with like an Adamancipator or pickup in my hand. But I think I'll be able to hopefully show you guys a little bit of what the engine can do. So now we want to get this guy into our graveyard as quickly as possible. So I think we will take, we will summon off our Gigantes right now by banishing, we already have another Analyzer, so we'll just banish the Analyzer. And then we'll take these two guys right here, and we will link summon into our IP Masquerena just to get that firmly on the field. And then we can take these two cards. This is why I like going into Leonite first, is because now we can go into our Dragite, or we could just go into our, we're going to go into Borreload Savage. I like leaving the Dragite for later because with Dragite, you can use him to bounce all of your opponent's stuff back to their hand. So this card is just ridiculous. So plus like Borreload Savage is an Omni Negate, whereas Dragite is only a spell negate. So we'll go with the, we're going to go with him first. I think like once Halka Fibrax gets addressed on the next ban list, or if like, even if Savage Dragon would somehow get hit on the ban list, I think that this deck is still going to have a lot of power, and you're going to be able to sort of alter the extra deck, sort of like with like the Utopia double engine and all that stuff. So I think that there is still hope for this, even if like Hulk gets hit, because a lot of this stuff is unnecessary. So we have two Omni Negates here already, and we're not done yet. But we, that's my bad. Actually, before we would have done that, I guess we would have had to, while we have these guys on the field, we would have had to summon our Researcher, and then we would take these guys to go into there. So now, since we had a rock, then we would have, we would have needed a rock on the field to summon the Researcher. But now we'll pick off the top 5 of our deck again. And the only unfortunate thing here about now with our Gogogo engine is that we have no space on the board. So like with the Gogogo Gigas, it has to be when you special summon a monster. But we can, that would be really cool though if we could pick up like a really good card. So we'll summon the Adamancipator Dragite off of that effect. And so with Dragite, then you can put a specific card to the top of your deck. So if it's summoned by the effect of an Adamancipator card, you can place if it's summoned by, you can draw one. Okay, you can draw one card. Oh yeah, I'm thinking of Signs. So yeah, with Signs, the combo is that you use Signs, special summon this, and then with Signs, you can put a specific rock monster on the top of your deck, and then you get to just draw. But no, so my bad. I'm kind of flamboozling the deck. We're just going to pick up the top of our deck. Okay, and we did get an Automata pickup. That was kind of what I was hoping. So now with the Automata pickup, we can use that in order to add the Adamancipator to our hand. Yep, so now we'll use Adamancipator, and we will discard one card in order to add we can add any 2 cards to our hand. So I'm thinking with this, we're going to pick up the Utopia Onomatopoeia, sorry, and the Gogogo Glove. So just keep in mind that you have to use one of each different kind. So I can't pick up both of the I can't pick up both of the Gogogo guys. So there's Gogogo Gigas and the Gogogo Giant, so I can't pick up both of those at the same time, but anything else is basically fair game, because this is also treated as a Dododo card, and Onomatopoeia is treated as whatever he wants to be. So then these are not going to be able to like be utilized this turn, but we will be able to use them on our opponent's turn. So now with this, we would then, now we sort of have a decision as to whether we would want to take these guys, and we can make we could make Raptite with these two, or we could just leave them on the board to become like a 4 negate Appaloosa. But I think we're gonna just try to risk it here. So we're gonna take these guys, and we will go into our Raptite. I'm just going to make sure that the deck is good and shuffled, because now we get to use our Raptite's effect, and the deck should be shuffled now that we search for our Gogogo cards. So what we're hoping to pick up here is just any rock monster that we can put on the board in order to get another card for our Appaloosa. So for Raptite, it can summon any excavated rock card in defense mode. So there we go. We have our Quacky Meru Guardian, and that's all we needed. We're actually going to take, so we could take Supplier or Guardian. With Supplier, it adds another card into our hand. It would add like a Guardian into our hand, but I think that we just want to take the Guardian just to be safe. And then also, not to mention, if that hadn't worked, we still have our Plague Spreader zombie, I believe, in our graveyard. Yeah, so with Plague Spreader, we could at any point send like our Adamancipator, sorry, back to our top of our deck, special summon the Plague Spreader, and then draw this for our next turn. But yeah, basically with this, we ended up with 2 Omni Negates. We have, with our Raptite, since we have a Wind Monster in the graveyard with our Metal Marcher, then that means that we can use this to banish one of our opponent's cards from their graveyard as a quick effect during their turn. Then we, depending on what our opponent is going for, if they're doing like, sort of like an OTK fashion deck, then we can just take, then we would, in general, just want to take these 2 on our turn and turn them into Nightmare Cerberus. Or if we just feel like we want to go for a Appaloosa to be safe, just for 3 monster negates, then we can, on our opponent's turn, take these guys, go into a 3 negate Appaloosa. So that means that we're losing our Quacky Meru Guardian, but we're gaining 2 plus monster negates. And with the Masquerena, it can't be destroyed by card effects with its protection. And then on our following turn, if all of this stuff goes away, then we still have our Plague Spreader zombie set up in our graveyard. And then if we summon our Dodo Dwarf, Gogogo Glove, and the Onomatopoeia, then we also have our Gogogo Gigas in the graveyard, which means that, with the Gigas, let's say that all of these cards are gone next turn. Then we have the Gigas Engrave special summons itself. We cannot attack for this turn. However, then we can take the Gogogo Glove and Gigas, go into, let's say, our Gallic Granite, detach the Gogogo Glove, and then we can then add Adamancipator Researcher. Then, since we have we would still have a Gogogo monster on the field. So if you control a Gogogo monster while this is in the graveyard, you can special summon this, but then it gets banished when it leaves the field, but that's still fine. With our Researcher, we will then excavate, and we'll pick up our Supplier right there. That's going to be really nice. So when Supplier is summoned, then we get to add a Quacky Meru Guardian to our hand. So let's not forget to do that. So we'll add Guardian directly to our hand. And now, depending on what our opponent still has on the board, now we can take our Onomatopoeia. We'll take the, not the Onomatopoeia. We'll actually use our Onomata Pickup. So what this card does, since it's a continuous spell, then you can target one Zubaba, Gagaga, Gogogo, or Dododo monster you control, and then all monsters that you currently control become that monster's level until the end of this turn. So we will just use our Onomatopoeia and turn everyone into level 4s, which means that we can take our Researcher and the Onomatopoeia and summon our Dragite. Use Dragite's effect to reveal our top 5. And that means that we can, we'll send the top 4 cards of our opponent's, we're sending 4 cards of our opponent's field back to their hand, which is just absolutely nuts. Let's not forget that we have other extenders. We still have our Plague Spreader zombie in the graveyard, and we do have a couple extra deck options yet, so I guess what we would still do is we could go into, take these 2 cards to go into Nightmare Cerberus. which would mean that we could discard our Quackymare Guardian to destroy if there's anything else on their field, or even if that doesn't really make sense, we can take Plague Spreader Zombie by sending Quackymare Guardian back to the top of the deck, and then we could go, I guess we still can't extend really into our Crusadia Avramax, but in general, that is just sort of where our turn would wind up. So we would actually probably just keep the Guardian in hand. Plague Spreader is still sitting there as backup, even though we are completely out of synchros. We only have 3 cards in the extra deck after this, so keep all of that in mind. But yeah, overall, this is a pretty powerful deck if you guys have not realized. So obviously, this is just sort of like a for fun, combo, without taking for any of our opponent's interruptions. But if all would go perfectly well, this is what this deck could theoretically do. But anyways, let me know what you guys think down in the comment section, and we'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to subscribe and check out that Facebook page. We'll catch you later. Bye.